I was trying to make rank and rent work after work and the weekends. I wanted to go travel. I wanted to be free. I just wanted to make $1,000 a month because I knew that was the amount that was going to allow me to travel to Bali because I went on a little backpacking trip after uni. I remember being in Lombok, just driving a moped, which cost me $3. I was eating three local meals, which was about $5 a day total, and I was staying in a backpackers, which was $5. So all up, I calculated I just need to make $1,000 a month, and then I'll be able to quit my job, be free, and not have to partake in the usual society type of stuff where you're watching the news and you're going to school and then you're at work, you're going to lunch when you're told to go to lunch. If you arrive more than 5 minutes late to work, people are going to give you the side eye, all that kind of stuff. So I just want to make $1,000 a month. So I got back from Bali. I was like, shit, I gotta figure out how to get back there. So I got a job in marketing because I thought, okay, this marketing thing that I've studied at uni I might be able to make it work for my own business. I might be able to do marketing for other companies. So finished my uni, got a job working at a education company doing some like Google ads and some marketing stuff, and I met a guy there called Nabil who had a client outside of work, like a side hustle client, which I couldn't believe, like that he was making $300 a month from this guy, New Zealand dollars. So that would be about 180 USD a month on the side, which I thought was insane. Some dude was paying him that much money to do Google ads on the side. So that made me go, oh, okay, cool. So this is I'm on the right path here doing this marketing stuff, and I'm going to keep hanging out with Nabil. Uh, so I was like, okay, cool. I don't know where to go with this, but I'm just gonna try to figure this stuff out on my own, which was quite ignorant to think that I could do that myself at the time. Uh, and I made my first $50 selling Bluehost affiliate website commission. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna do a couple free websites to get a bit of a testimonial, get some experience, and then I'm gonna maybe charge a bit more for these websites. So I did three free websites. I went on a local Facebook marketplace and I said, hey, I'm doing three free websites for my portfolio. Hit me up. Here's my email. And I did three shitty websites. One for a lash lift company, which she actually ranks number one for Lash Lift Auckland. She got a whole ton of leads. Somehow I ranked at number one in SEO, which was cool. And I think I only made about $500 from her over the course of a couple of years. And I think she made tens of thousands of dollars, if not more. Go check out Lash Lift Auckland, Yumi Lash Lift. You can see a Google Map listing. I did a homegrown honey website. So some guy was trying to sell honey out of his backyard, so I did him a site. And I think the other one was a battery repacking company, so you could check out Repower Batteries NZ. So the first guy paid. I said, "Hey bro, here's the link for the hosting. Just hit that." He paid it. It was a Friday after work, and he paid for it, and I got a $50 commission from Bluehost. So I was at the after work drinks out in Mount Wellington, New Zealand. I was like, "Fuck! I made $50." I couldn't believe it. I was so chuffed. Uh, so that was cool. And then I basically just did side hustling. I built a couple more websites, started charging a little bit more. But fast forward 4 years, actually close to 5 years later, I was still making $1,000 a month. And I was like, shit. Like, I was doing a bit of partying back then as well, like enjoying myself on the weekends after the corporate job. And I was like, shit, man, I'm turning 30 in a couple months. I think it was like August. So shit, I'm going to be turning 30. 30. I've wanted to make this Bali dream happen for nearly 5 years now, and I'm still just making about $1,000 a month, which, to be honest, was enough to probably make the jump if I, you know, sacked up and went for it. But it wasn't happening, so I was like, okay, something's got to change here. Like, so what I did was I essentially I booked a ticket. I said, I'm not going to wake up at 30 years old at my corporate job for another year, rocking up to work, doing the same old thing, going to the gym, getting on the beers in the weekend. I was like, nah, this is not happening. So I booked a ticket to, I think, Chiang Mai because I couldn't go to Bali because of some requirements to get into the country. So, okay, cool. Where's the next place that I can get into just so I can get out of here and like focus on my business, which was Chiang Mai, Thailand, which is where I live now. And So I booked the ticket. I was like, cool. So I cut all the partying, I cut everything. I was like, I'm just going to be grinding my ass off to make this happen no matter what. And sure enough, I was still just making about $1,000. And then it was about 3 months, 4 months before I left, and I came across Rank and Rent. I was like, shit, this is it's pretty cool. This is what I like doing. I just like doing SEO all day. It's like it's quite fun. I can rank these sites, get guys leads, do some Google ads. But I never really liked the thought of doing like a traditional agency service where like they hit you up and you're doing some Google ads for them. You're doing some SEO. They're hitting you up for updates. It's like I don't want to do all that. I don't want you to be looking at the site going, oh, this button color's too big. It's like just let me cook. Let me rank your site. So I saw Rank and Rent. I was like, this is perfect. I can just rank these sites number one easily, get a bunch of leads and just send them to people, and they don't have to worry about waiting and getting ripped off by agencies. So it seemed like the perfect dream. And then I came across Nick Wood, whose course I joined before leaving. Shout out to Nick Wood and Digital Landlords. Check that out. But at that point, I was like, I need this to work. Like, if this doesn't work, like, I'm cooked. I'm going to go to Bali or Thailand. I'm going to run out of cash, and then I'm going to come home, and everyone's going to say, oh, Mike's little backpacking trip is over. He's back to work, and my soul would have evaporated, and I probably would have jumped off a bridge, to be honest. So I joined Next, bro, because I knew I have to make this work. There's no choice. I've been making $1,000 a month. I'm going all in on Rank and Rent. So I basically put in 30% of my net worth at the time, which wasn't a lot. And I was like, this is it. I'm going to jump in. And as soon as I jumped in there, within 8 weeks, I was making 5K USD a month. I was absolutely consumed with Rank and Rent. I wanted to be successful with Rank and Rent as much as I wanted to breathe. So I'd be waking up in the morning on time, off to work, get the 9 hours done. Lunchtimes I was doing some cold outreach. After work I'd be going to the gym, and then I'd be doing my 2 hours of Rank and Rent, and then it's repeat, baby. We wake up the next day and it was the exact same thing. Absolute trench work. So that was 5 days, Monday to Friday, completely locked in. I wanted to be successful so bad. I was willing to die to be successful. I didn't. There was no ifs or buts. It's like I want to be successful as much as I want to breathe air. And then Saturday comes around, and it's like, okay, cool. I can actually spend the whole day on Rank and Rent. I can just do Rank and Rent all day long. And what I used to say was make a dent in the universe, because you can do a bit of work in 2 hours. You can knock a bit of stuff out, but the feeling on Saturdays when you wake up, you crack open a White Monster or a smash of coffee, and you've got the whole day to do what you want to make your dream happen is a special feeling. So we'd wake up Saturday, just crank the whole day. I remember being up to like 11 p.m. at night on some scaffolding website, which was my first website that I built, Scaffolding Auckland, which I'm currently renting out at the moment. I was building like a scaffolding estimate calculator. I ranked number one for that. That was awesome. And yeah, Sunday I'd just chill. To be honest, Sunday I'd just be like, okay, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to recover, because I know as soon as Monday hits, we're going to be back in the trenches. And we basically did that for 8 weeks, and I couldn't believe it. I was putting in the work. I was doing the mental strategies. I was thinking about Rank and Rent and making 10K a month. I was thinking about moving, and I just put in the work. And over that 8 week period, I just didn't have a choice. I just decided that I'm going to believe that this is going to work. I'm going to put in the work every single day because I wanted it so bad. So we got to 5K a month, and then sure enough, the trip to Vietnam, Vietnam was the first place I went to, occurred. I was making about 5-6K a month USD. I quit my job. I handed in my notice. I told my boss, hey, sorry, I'm going on a little backpacking trip. Little did she know I had replaced my corporate salary selling website leads to concreters and roofers. And then I actually finished work on a Friday, and I thought the next day I was going to be heading off to Vietnam, so I thought I had a bit of time to pack my bags and all that, and it turns out the flight was actually that Friday at 8 p.m. So I finished work at 4, got home, caught up with my mate, said goodbye, packed my backpack. I just had a backpack, chucked my laptop in there, and prepared for the unknown. It was a pretty surreal experience, pretty special experience. Jumped on the plane, obviously did not sleep at all because I was in economy class for maybe 12 hours. Woke up in Ho Chi Minh City, and for some reason we picked to stay on Bui Viem, which is like a big party street. And there was absolute shell shock. I got out of the taxi on this busy road. Didn't know where I was. Saw some other foreigners. It was all like the smell of Southeast Asia, the heat, the busyness, the horns. I was just absolutely thrown into a new world. And that's where it all kind of began. Now I've got over 40 clients doing Rank and Rent and helping other guys do the same. And basically there's no other choice. You either make it work or you have to go back to reality. So that's the story for today. If you haven't made Rank and Rent work yet, it's because you don't want it bad enough. You've got to want to make it work as much as you want to breathe, as much as you want to live. That way you're actually going to be doing the work. And if you've got a good work ethic but you don't actually know what you're doing, you haven't got a clear pathway to get 10K a month, that's fair enough. And that was me for 4.5 years. If you do need help scaling your Rank and Rent business, hit the link in the bio, hit Rank and Rent Accelerator. We just had one of our students close a 2K deal within the first 5 weeks for a roofing client. I basically told him exactly what to do. He had me on WhatsApp, giving him every strategic next move, and he's got a 2K retainer on Stripe. So hit that link, book a call with me if you want to get some help, and have a deep, hard look in the mirror and ask yourself, do you want to make Rank and Rent work as much as you want to breathe? Because if you don't, then you're not going to make it work.